Welcome to the elevator pitch. Boys and girls, thank you so much. And we all know what an elevator pitch is. It's when you have that chance meeting with someone who's influential and important and great, and you're standing in that elevator and you have 20 or 30 seconds to make your pitch and say who you are and why you deserve any kind of opportunity with anyone. And we are at the 661 West Lake Street Quillis Tower headquarters, and in our elevator, and today's guest, our special guest, is not only a friend of the show, but a very important client of KWILL's, the founder and owner of Fueled by AF, Fueled by a Ton of Fun, Angelica Ford. Founder, a leader, Fueled by AF. Why did you get into this business? What is Fueled by AF, Angelica?
This is my favorite question.
Yeah.
So Fueled by AF was founded and started to help individuals with disabilities find employment opportunities, but we're doing it a little bit differently. We're really trying to show off the skill sets that individuals with disabilities have. And our company, 90% of our employees have intellectual or physical disabilities. However, we're showing to be 28% more efficient than companies our size because of our different approach.
Oh, wow. And what motivated you to help people with disabilities? I mean, obviously there's a social benefit to this, but was there something in your life that led you to this, or?
Yeah, so when you think about who you surround yourself with, you just feel like you're with the right people, right? When you find your crew, when you find your people, you just feel like you're with the right people. And whenever I would volunteer or help out at different adaptive sports, I was like, this is my community, these are my people. Like, this is where I want to be. I do have a couple cousins that have intellectual disabilities. However, I kept surrounding myself with this community, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is where I want to be.
So you vote with your feet. You found yourself in this community all the time, and you said, hey, there is something here, and there's a way for me to help, and why don't I start a business? Not a lot of people think like that. So why did you start this particular business?
So I didn't actually, I didn't find them and want to start a business. I found them and wanted to help. And through the process, it started young for me. Like, I was in junior high, high school. I really found
it was like, what, 2-3 years ago?
Right, it feels, if you ask me how I feel today, it was like 25 years ago. No, so I started realizing it, and then in college, I was a collegiate swimmer, and we had an adaptive swim team that came to swim after us. And I was like, oh, I love this. So I leave college, I get my first big kid job, right? And I was like, there's like nothing here that really caters to this community at my job. So I felt a little piece of me was missing. So I started volunteering, and down the line, I think I just eventually realized that my end goal was something that no one else was offering. So I had to create it myself, and that's where the business aspect came in.
Wow, that is really, that's awesome. So you were a collegiate swimmer? What did you swim?
I was the 400 IMer, the distance swimmer.
Okay, wait, what does IM stand for?
Individual medley means we do a little bit of every stroke. We're versatile, I guess you could say. So
that means you swam 400 meters, but you did the breaststroke?
4 lengths of butterfly, 4 backstroke, 4 breaststroke, 4 freestyle.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
It was really grueling. The cool part about it is there's 16 spots in finals in our conference. There's only 17 people that signed up for that. so your girl went to finals.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to SUNY Cortland in upstate college in New York, and I loved it.
Are you from New York?
No, I'm from here. 5 people from Chicago went to that school.
I spent a summer at SUNY Purchase, which is in graduate school. So
do you know how many SUNY schools there are?
1,000.
64.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's impressive.
I know. There's a lot. For what people think is a small state, it's really not.
Well, God bless you. So talk about, one of the things, we've had a lot of athletes on this show.
Okay.
And I don't think we've had an individual sport athlete, right? I mean, because swimming is very much an individual sport. Can you talk a little bit about some of the lessons that you learned playing sports and how that's translated into your working world?
I think it took me, honestly, till this year to kind of figure out how my sport played a role in my business. So as far as swimming works, like you always stay in your lane, right? You're never going into someone else's lane. So I really learned how to focus on staying in my lane and excelling at what I'm really good at. But I always have a peripheral for what's going on around me. So I know when to make my move and adjust. And that's how you race in swimming. Took me a little bit to learn how to apply it in my everyday life, but I think this year I figured it out.
That is so wild. Well, you've got the biggest personality of any swimmer that I've met.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I talked to a fellow who was an Olympic swimmer, and he said, yeah, you don't start counting the laps. If you start counting the laps, then you get a little
they put
crazy.
counters down there for a reason. It's not just because I'm blonde, like literally because you can't focus on that.
It's not just because you're blonde.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even have hair, so I can't even. Now, when you talk about you are 28% more efficient than companies your size, why do you think that is? And maybe talk a little bit about your company, the size of it, and what you hope to accomplish with that, with your company.
So we did like this evaluation early on in the company when we were at the hatchery, because there's other small businesses, like-minded businesses, and we started like kind of figuring out, okay, how many days a week are you coming in to make product, and like what's your outcome? And so we started doing this efficiency model, and I'm starting to realize like, wow, we are like way ahead of like what other people our size are doing. So it really related back onto how we designed our company and laid everything out. And I'm really a big advocate for allowing people, like I evaluate, but then I sit back and allow them to show me how they perform, and then I can strategically place.
Okay.
So my biggest outcome for this company is to keep using this model that I've already created to grow to be the largest manufacturing plant with individuals with disabilities in the nation.
How big would you have to be to get to that plant, to get to that size?
We actually, there's not even enough information out there right now, because a lot of companies are like, we hire individuals with disabilities, but it's like a one-to-one, job coach with an individual with disabilities. Like, I don't think there's enough information out there yet, or it's kind of a newer topic. But what we're seeing is when non-for-profits come to us, they're like, so it's you and 4 people in your kitchen just making this stuff. And we go in 1 time a week and we make enough product for a month.
Is that right?
Yeah, so we go in 4 times total per month, and that allows us to stay ahead, pack orders, reevaluate, do all of our supplies. So 4 times a month we can get everything done.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's been a really great experience. I've learned so much from them, but I think a lot of what we have learned, we've given back to the non-for-profits to help, other job placement at other communities, or we've heard a lot of great feedback, like so-and-so is also using this skill now at their other job. So we've gotten a lot of great feedback, and I do think we can do what I'm envisioning of doing. So
where do you get your employees, and how have you kind of embedded yourself within that community?
Yeah, so originally we started with non-for-profits. So Misericordia is the most amazing partner. They have a great employment community and background and education for their members. And what I quickly realized, and this is no fault to a non-for-profit, but they are limited by their staff members. So if staff members can't help them travel to and from, or like they're short staffed, then that individual can't come to work. So what ended up naturally happening is when we're out at farmers market and community events, you might come up, hey, I have a niece or a nephew that has Down syndrome. Could they come help and work? So we started pulling in from the community. However, what I started to ask is, can you prove to me, just like a job resume, that you're involved in something else? Are you in a day program? Are you going to dance class? Are you going to music class, art class? Like, where else are you involved in the community outside of work to make a well-balanced employee?
And so, I mean, that's interesting, because I guess I wouldn't have thought about anything else aside from the production that goes on in your warehouse, because that makes a better employee, right? I mean, your manufacturing facility, because that makes a better employee, right? Assuming that they're fully engaged elsewhere. And do you pay them do you pay them a regular wage? I mean, how does that work?
We do pay them, like wages like everyone else receives. There is one limitation, especially in this country, in the state, that I don't think a lot of people understand. Individuals with disabilities, if they are receiving benefits from the state or the government, they are limited to only receiving like $2,000 in assets per month. So you start doing the math on that, like it's almost a little bit of forced poverty in a way, because they can't work as many hours. Let's say they want to and they want to excel, but I exceed that threshold on paying them. What happens is it removes their benefits, which we had this incident where this poor gentleman lost all of his seizure medications, benefits for housing, and it took us 2 years to get
them back.
Yeah, I don't think it's like, it's a hard subject because like these people want to work and they do a really good job, but then like you try to provide more for them and something else gets taken away.
Wow, that's amazing. So, and the majority, I'm assuming the vast majority of the people that work for you are receiving some benefits from the state.
Yeah, you have to keep in mind too, some of these individuals, like they might be in their 60s, their parents could be deceased, or like their parents are no longer around, or they have like they're what do we call that, award of the state, you know, so they might not have someone there like advocating for them on that back end. So,
and they probably don't have someone there.
It's really hard. So as an employer, something I've learned is like I'm so aware of what, like I mean, most employees come to work and you're just aware of what they do at work. Like my job as an adaptive employer is to make sure that I am also focused on what's happening outside of work, because I don't ever want to put them in harm or in trouble of like losing these benefits.
Now you use this phrase adaptive employer. Does that mean, are there a group of companies around the country that sort of focus and specialize on adaptive? I mean, how big of a universe is this?
It's rapidly growing right now. I would say COVID brought out so many companies that are starting to focus on this. It's still a small community and network. We're seeing, I get called quite frequently, like someone opens a business, wants to hire individuals with disabilities. The thing that happens, and this happens to us too, like everyone's gonna come to you and be like, I want a job, and your heart is saying, okay, sure. And then what happens is, the reality is you're starting a small business. You cannot hire 40 people right away, right? And then you have so many people coming in, you don't have steady training programs, you don't really have curriculum or a good structure, and then you have falling outs in your program. And then eventually sometimes those businesses close, which is really unfortunate because they were offering a great opportunity. It's just, you can't load on 40 people in the beginning right away.
No, you can't save everyone, and even if you want to, right? Yeah,
I do remind non-for-profits and other family members, like, I am still a normal small business. I still have to have guidelines and boundaries. I can't hire everyone.
Well, you know, it's funny, there's a person who's a very good friend of mine who's in the political space, and he said, Hugh, you know, you can't have profitability, you can't have philanthropy without profitability, right? And to hear a politician say that's really meaningful, because
for sure
he understands that people need to be successful financially, and it's great to hear that, you know, you're focused on running a business. So what do you do the other 4 days or the other 6 days in the week when you're not working on the kitchen?
So we go production 1 day a week, and then I am like the traveling saleswoman. Like, I'm on the ground all the time trying to deliver to the store, and then we do over the weekend. Every week I try to schedule 2 to 3 days of the week of just like being at markets or sales or store demos. So there's another 3, so you're at 4, and 1 day's deliveries. So that's 5, and then I run an adaptive personal training business outside of Fueled.
Oh, wow.
So I do that 4 days a week.
So you're working.
I train a lot of our employees so that they have a healthy life balance.
Oh, that's awesome.
Of exercise.
That's
I gotta keep them in shape so they keep running around that kitchen.
You know what? It's like those old company towns, except you're going about it very differently. Well done. Well done. What else? Hey, well, you know, how big is Fueled by AF, and you know, what kind of revenue are you guys?
We're small but mighty. So we have 4 girls in the kitchen.
Okay.
And then we have a sales team that fluctuates between...
Girls, no guys in the kitchen? Come on.
I don't know how this turned out.
That sounds sexist.
I understand, but listen to me. these girls throw down like
Right?
that.
They get after it. They get after it.
We've
Okay,
had
fair
men
enough.
come in, and they're like, they can't keep up. Like they're
Are they
just like,
tasting the dough? Are the dudes eating the dough? Because
listen,
that's
we're
what I
kind
would
of
be
like
doing.
a Lucille Ball factory sometimes.
yeah.
Like the bites are disappearing into
Yeah.
their mouth, but we get the job done. But
Yeah.
we've hired men before, and like
It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
The men in the kitchen.
But the
don't
men
work.
are great on the sales team because they
Okay.
love helping set up and like,
Right.
you know, it's very fun. But in the kitchen, man, I'm like, oh, watch out.
Oh, that's good.
I
That's
tell
good.
everyone, I'm like, they're the boss of me. Like, I don't even get a say anymore. Like, they're doing their job.
Well, I tell you, I've heard nothing but great things about you and your energy. I mean, it's obviously shining bright right here. But maybe talk a little bit about working with Andrew. You know, you're perfect for us because we would like to be with you from day one until you're the largest food manufacturer in the country working within the community that you work with. So maybe just talk a little bit about how you met Andrew and
Yeah.
the job that he's done for you.
Well, I have good news for you. I'm Italian and we keep people for life. So you might want to get rid of me, but I'm never letting you guys go. I have the best things to say about Andrew. Coincidentally, before Andrew came around, I talked to 26 real estate brokers.
Is that right?
Gave my HGTV pitch of like, I want a house in the city, but by the beach, and I have no money. So I give them this
And
like,
I want 2 bedrooms.
I want a
3 bathrooms.
6-bedroom house, and I only paint. So Andrew calls me, and he's like, hi, so I bought your product at a grocery store. I love it. I'm going into commercial real estate. Could I help you? And I was like, okay, buddy.
Oh my goodness.
Buckle up. I'm
That's
going to give you
amazing.
the same pitch I give everyone else. So I tell him the whole spiel, and he's like, all right. And like, never gave me doubt. Like, just said, okay.
Oh, that's so good.
So one day, like a couple months later, I get this email from him. Hi, I think I found something for you. And I'm like, oh my God, someone emailed me back. Woo! So Andrew brings me over to this new space, and I had like very specific things that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I appreciated the most about Andrew was he wasn't just like spitballing random stuff at me.
Right.
He really listened. And
Yeah.
on the first try, he got me exactly what I wanted.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was really amazing. So we leave there, and I was like instantly like, all right, like that's what we're gonna do. And I remember.
So wait, you said that's what we're gonna do the
Yeah, like
first day?
Yeah,
the-
like I'm like big gut
Yeah,
intuition
well done.
person.
There you go. There you go. I'm telling you, more people should be like that because it's not even so much that your gut steers you in the right direction, but usually the right decision comes very naturally and quickly to you, right?
Yeah, no, I will say I think as we grow, maybe that decision will become a little bit more challenging because
Sure.
we're looking for a lot more, which we are now looking for a
Right.
new space, and poor Andrew has to deal with me more than the first time
God
around.
bless him.
But he's got it. So I do remember going to sign our lease.
Right.
There was just like we were jumping through fire to get it done really fast
Right.
because I put is it the egg before the chicken or however that
Something.
works? Yeah.
Cart,
So I had all
horse,
this
something.
equipment from
Yeah.
overseas
Right.
sitting in a port in New Jersey,
Yeah.
and they're like, you got to get it out of the port, and I was like, I have nowhere for it to go. So we find the spot. I was like, it works. We negotiate the numbers, and I was hiding in a closet at Merchandise Mart, talking on the phone with Andrew, trying to sign this deal at One of a Kind
That is so
show.
good. That is so good.
Andrew's like, I think he was like either under the train tracks or on the train. I don't know what he was doing, but I just remember we were both in odd places and we were jumping through hoops. We signed the lease on April 28th. The floor was dug up May 1st. On May 5th, I started moving everything in.
Wow.
Like it was fast. We moved in and we're running production by May 18th.
Wow.
It was like one of the most incredible experiences. He was rock solid. He really helped me. So then I called him back and I was like, hey, we gotta move. We need something bigger.
Well, he's the voice of reason, that guy.
He is. He's steady.
He's steady. He's steady. There's one question that I love to ask.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah, it's not that bad. Angelica Ford, 20 seconds or less. Who are you?
Oh, wow. Good one. My name's Angelica Ford. I'm an outgoing, enthusiastic entrepreneur that is out here to change the world.
Boom.